Welcome back to From the Shed and welcome back to the channel. What a couple of days it's been. What a couple of days it has been, man. I hope everyone's good. Ready to start another week. Chelsea players are back at Cobham tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. We're going to do a video on all of that tomorrow. But before we do anything, as always, please make sure you subscribe. You smash that subscribe button. We are on the road to 1,500 subscribers. So if you haven't already, you're watching this live, you're part of the live stream. If you're not part of the live stream and you're watching it afterwards, please make sure you hit the subscribe button before you do anything else. It helps the channel grow. All of that good stuff, all that fun stuff. We've got some good stuff to start off with. As always on this channel, let's start with the positives. Because the positives are here, man. Jorrel Hato has signed his deal. Been announced. The club have formally, officially announced that he's a Chelsea player. We've been talking about it for so long on the channel, man. Let's jump straight into it. It says here, Jorrel Hato is a Chelsea player. He joins Chelsea. Chelsea are delighted to announce the signing of Netherlands international Jorrel Hato from Ajax. The 19-year-old defender has penned a long-term contract at Stamford Bridge through to 2032 and will join up with his new teammates this week. So I'm assuming that is from tomorrow. Couple of quotes here from Hato. So he's basically said, "I'm very excited. I'm so happy to be here. I thought a lot about my future. I wanted to take the next step in my career. Chelsea is the best place for me to do so. I'm very happy." I'm going to be honest though. I'm going to be honest. I don't want this to be one of those signings that in 2 or 3 years from now, not even 2 or 3 years, 18 months from now, I don't want us to be in a situation where we're talking about Hato and he's being sold or he's being sent out on loan because he can't get game time. I do think personally that I think he'll stay. I think he'll be part of the setup at the club. I think we need to utilize him. We need to make sure Marco Correa is getting the minutes that he needs as well. Um, so yeah, I think we'll utilize him in the best way possible. I think 19 years of age. He's going to be learning from, for me, one of the best left backs in the world in Marco Correa. Um, we know that we've got a lot of things happening in terms of the Champions League, the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, the Premier League that we want to try and go for as well. So I think, for me personally, I think we're just gonna have to try and trust the manager, trust that we've got things right, trust that we know what we're doing. Um, yeah, I think we'll be fine. I genuinely think we'll be fine. I think it's a good signing. It's a very good signing. 40 million there or thereabouts. I think it's a good signing. I think it's a signing that we needed to make. We spoke about needing cover on this channel plenty of times before. And Jorrel Hato he ticks all those boxes. He ticks all of those boxes. I think people might say that the fee's a bit much, but for a left back, there's not many. There's not many. I'm happy that he's not. Looks like he's not going out on loan either. Looks like he's going to be part of the setup at the club, for the foreseeable. Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at it on here now. So he's born in Rotterdam, um, moved to Ajax Youth Academy 2018, signed his first professional contract 2022 at 16. He's heavily been involved in the UEFA Youth League. This is a good sign. This is a good signing. The third youngest to debut for Ajax. He finished the campaign starting in a Dutch Cup final as well. So we got to be happy with Hato, man. I think he's a good, and even this as well. So on the international stage as well, made his senior debut, age 17. He's already got 6 caps. He's also captained the Dutch side at the UEFA Under-20 European Championships, just recently gone as well. So he's got the quality. He's got quality. This is not a signing that I expect for him to go out on loan and be here, there, and everywhere. This is a signing that I think will help us alleviate some of the pressure on Cucurella, and also we need cover in that area. We really do. So I'm happy with that signing. That signing has cheered me up. And of course, we have to see him come in because the club's back. The squad is back tomorrow. So I think ideally, I think the club wanted to try and get the Travis Simons deal done at the same time. I'm convinced of that. I think they wanted the signing to be announced at the same time. And of course, that deal is stalling slightly, so we'll have to see how that carries on. But he's a good player. He's a good player. He's a very, very good player. So I think we've got ourselves a decent player in Hato. Be interesting to see if Maresca trusts him early on in terms of some of the games that we'll have coming up. Obviously, the Champions League kicks off not too long after the season kicks off, in just over a week's time. So I think it'll be interesting to see what Maresca's thoughts are. Really will. Now, some more news to pick up on. Very short live stream this afternoon as well because I'm still not 100% well. So it's going to be a very short live stream, but a live stream. Hopefully that's beneficial for you lot as well who are tuned in. If you are one of those that are tuned in, make sure you smash that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. We appreciate that. Make sure you like this video. But yeah, I mean, the simplest way to put this, Tyrique George wants to leave the club. Tyrique George has come out today and said that he wants to leave the club. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not against it. I'm not against it because I think it's really sort of hard for someone like Tyrique George who, had a really good season last season, played a lot of Conference League football, scored his goal against Fulham last season. And for him to not be able to give him the opportunity, you see the likes of, Xavi Simons potentially coming in, Gittins coming in, Estevao coming in. You see all these players that are going to be ahead of you potentially in the starting lineup. He wants to play football. He wants to play football. And as I said about a couple of other players last week, the club aren't going to hold anyone against their will. If you don't want to play for Chelsea Football Club, unfortunately, the club's just going to, they're very ruthless in terms of how they get rid of players now. This is not one of those things where, they'll keep you and put you on a loan deal. They'll sell you. We're a selling club now. We want to get rid of players, we'll get rid of them. Really, really disappointed if we lose him, if we lose Tyrique George, because he's a good player. And there's an argument to say, why are we bringing in Gittins? Why are we bringing in Garnacho as well? Another one that's potentially coming through the doors. Why have we gone and got Gittins and, Xavi Simons when we've got Tyrique George there, who is a very good player? So I do question whether we will regret that because I think he is, like I said, he's a very, very good player. In fact, he's a very good player and he's versatile. I just think, I don't blame him for wanting the first team football. I think, RB Leipzig, a lot of clubs in the Bundesliga apparently are interested in him, and I can see him going. I can see him going, unfortunately. I think from what we're hearing here and there, if you go on our From the Shed End account, we reported on it earlier via Fabrizio Romano, basically saying that Tyrique George can leave Chelsea this month. Chelsea wanted to keep George, but a permanent move is possible as they accept his desire to play regular football. Several Bundesliga clubs are interested now. I think one of those is RB Leipzig, and then you've got Borussia Mönchengladbach that also want to try and sign him as well. Yeah, it's tough because he is a good player, but I do think if he wants to go and he wants the first team football and he knows he's not guaranteed that at Chelsea, you can't really blame him for wanting to get out of the club. I'm not annoyed at that because I think for me it shows that he's got the desire to want to play football. There's some players that would just literally sit around. They would sit there on their big contracts, waste away at a club, not want to do anything, and then before you know it, you're 30. You haven't hardly kicked a football. So I rate him for wanting to go. I do. I hope he stays because I think, like I keep saying, he's a very, very good player. But where does he fit in? How does Tyrique George fit into our squad next season? Can we give him the assurances that he's going to start at least 30-40% of the games next season? Is he going to play a major role in the Champions League? Is he going to be included in the Champions League squad? There's so many unanswered questions, and it makes a good point because Theo, who does the podcast as well, the co-host, he's been making a good point for the last couple of months around, are we just playing Ashley Pong and Tyrique George to almost put them in a shop window? And maybe that's what we were doing last season. Maybe our intentions was to make sure that clubs could see what he's capable of doing on a European stage, albeit the Conference League. Maybe that's what the whole point of that was. Because why are we still signing players when we've got a decent youngster in the team, 17 years of age, that can do a job? So that's the bit I'm struggling with. That's the bit I'm struggling with. I don't really know whether, like, what was the point in playing him so much last season? That's the bit I don't get with the Tyrique George stuff. It's a bit crazy. Not happy with that at all. Not happy with that news at all. I think it will grow legs. I think the Tyrique George story will grow legs very quickly. Um, if he's got a good agent, which I'm sure he has, look, there's going to be clubs looking out for him. And one of the things that the Bundesliga clubs like to do is look at the English talent that's in the Premier League, and he is one of them. He is one of them. So I think there'll be a queue of people, clubs wanting him. It's just a shame to let him go. It's a shame to let him go because he's a top quality player, really top quality player. Let's talk about Christopher Nkunku, because Christopher Nkunku apparently is not going to be at training at Cobham tomorrow. Now, this is of course from a couple of sources, but mainly from Fabrice Hawkins as well, who's reported that Christopher Nkunku won't be in the squad tomorrow for the training session. This is down to a minor injury. Now, read into that what you will, but it says the player and Chelsea's management team have agreed to postpone his return. Couple of things on that, because Nkunku was clearly one of those players, I said it last week, that was involved heavily in the Club World Cup, helped us win it to an extent as well. I still don't think the door is firmly shut on Christopher Nkunku. I still think he does have some sort of role to play, whether that's he goes out on loan. I wouldn't be against that actually. I wouldn't be against it. The club seem to want to get rid of him in terms of a permanent move, but I wouldn't be against a loan because I think he's too good. We can't strengthen any other team in the Premier League. And I know there's been links with him maybe to Inter Milan and a couple of Bundesliga clubs as well. One Christopher Nkunku, RB Leipzig being one of them. But I just think, I remember Chelsea fans were so excited for him when we signed him, and of course he didn't join until the following year. But I think we need to give him an opportunity in our team. I personally think there's a bit more to the story. The fact that there's been a lot of transfer speculation around his name over the last couple of weeks or so. I generally think, is this one of those things where we won't actually see him train again at Cobham, and he actually moves on to another club in the next couple of days or so? Um, it's interesting. It is interesting. I don't know how to take that news. If it's just a minor injury and he's just out, maybe he's just out. Maybe he'll be back, but you just don't know. You just don't know with Chelsea. You just don't know. Um, and there is talk, of course, about the players that Maresca wants out of the club as well. From what we're hearing, there's going to be mass exodus at Chelsea. Still 12 players plus, it might even be 14 players if we're adding like to Tyrique George into that. But apparently Maresca wants his squad. He doesn't want the best squad. Apparently, he wants a squad that can be adaptable, that trains well. Yeah, I mean, this is interesting actually, because this was a massive debate, wasn't it, last season? Let me show this clip very quickly, because this was a massive thing last season. Um, now, if this is true, I'm kind of shocked by it a little bit. It says here that Enzo Maresca ahead of the new season, he quoted, this is apparently on Chelsea TV. Last year, I played the we're not in a title race card. I thought it would ease pressure. I won't make that mistake again. This time, we go for everything. That can't be a real quote. Is that can't be real? That can't be a real quote. I need to go and find a real quote of that. But if that's what he said, then that's mental. Because if anything, it didn't ease the pressure. If anything, it added a lot of ambiguity, a lot of questions that were stupidly asked of him in the press conferences. And to be honest, he should have just said, actually, it's December. He was asked, for those that don't know, he was asked obviously in December if he was in a title race. He said, no, we're not. That's when the bad results started to happen, if you remember last season. So I think he just got, as a manager, he's got to learn from those things. He's saying he won't make that mistake again, but I just think it's bizarre. It was a bizarre thing to come out with, and that's even more strange to say that, to ease the pressure. What happened? The players basically down tools after that. The players basically down tools because they knew that they didn't. If the manager saying we're not in the title race, then put your feet up, lads. We're done for the season. So bit of a strange one from Maresca. Very strange one from Maresca. That's not actually what I was trying to show you guys. I was trying to show you the list of players that we want out of the club. That is actually a real quote. I can't believe he said that. This is some good news as well. Let me show you this as well. Some really good news. I think the next guy that I'm going to put on the screen, I think he's got a big future at Chelsea. I think if we can get him playing the way that we know he can play, I think we have one of the best players in our team by a long shot in the Premier League. This guy, he's expected to be at Cobham tomorrow. Estevan Willian has arrived in London ahead of training with Chelsea at Cobham tomorrow. He's meant to be part of Enzo Maresca's first team plans. Now, there was a lot of talk because obviously he doesn't speak English, but you have to remember Reece James, Cole Palmer, Tyrique George, Josh Ashiampong, Keenan Dewsbury Hall at the moment. I'm probably missing someone, but the main five are the only English speakers. We have Portuguese, we have Spanish, we have French. We must have an Italian knocking around somewhere. So my point is that basically this is a team that is full of different nationalities. I don't think the fact he doesn't speak English is a problem. The good thing about football is it's a universal language. If I need you to push up, you push up. If I need you to drop back, you drop back. If I need you to work the ball better, you work the ball better. If I need you to link up the ball with me better, then it's a universal language. It doesn't really matter if you don't speak English. And of course, that will come over time. That will come over time. So I'm not too concerned by that at all. But it'd be good to see him. I mean, how good would it be to see Esteban Willian just playing for Chelsea, watching him in the Club World Cup? Special, special, special talent. If he can hit the ground running next season or this season, then yeah, we're in a good spot. We're in a really, really good spot with our team, I think. I'm still trying to find this list. Let me find this list. The list of players that need to be sold. It's not this list, but there's let's find the list. The list will be somewhere. Let's find it. There's a lot of players on it. A lot of players. And my worry is the season kicks off in just over a week's time. And it doesn't look like we're going to get rid of half these players. Oh, I can't find the list. Yeah, I can't find the list, but you know the list. Sterling, Chilwell, Chalobah, Dizazi, Badiashile, Keenan Dewsbury Hall. The list is endless. The list is going to be endless. But yeah, I think we just need to. I think we need to get rid of some of those players now. If we don't get rid of them, then I don't think it's a blessing and a curse. If we don't get rid of them, they stay at the club. But if we don't get rid of them, I don't think we go and sign Garnacho, because Garnacho is just. I just don't know why we're signing him. I don't know what we see in Garnacho that's making us. And this is why the likes of Tyrique George want to get out of the club. Can you imagine? You've been playing. You've played for this club since what 4 or 5 years of age. You finally break into the senior squad. You finally get your own locker in the dressing room, or the rest of it. You have a half decent season. You score some decent goals, some crucial goals in the Premier League, some decent goals in the Conference League. You go on to win the Conference League. And in the summer, you hear that not just one but two left-sided attacking midfielders are coming into the squad with Gittins and Garnacho. Then Xavi Simons can play there as well. You must be thinking, what am I doing? So again, I can't blame Tyrique George for wanting out, but at the same time as well, the Garnacho deal just doesn't make any sense. But I don't think that happens. I honestly don't think that happens if we don't get rid of the Ben Chilwells, if we don't get rid of Raheem Sterling, if Christopher Nkunku's on that list, if we don't get rid of those sort of players, we can't keep spending frivolously and just allowing these sales to happen. Without these sales happening, they have to happen. So the Garnacho one's still scratching my. It's a head scratcher. I don't understand why we're doing that. And if that's at the cost of Tyrique George leaving the club, to bring in someone that's got the attitude of Garnacho, even the ability of Garnacho, I'm trying to think. Apart from the Everton game where he scored his amazing goal, is Garnacho even that? Like, what's his best qualities? Like, what's he good at? What can he do that Tyrique George can't do? There's not much. There's literally not much. So I don't know. I don't know. But I'm not happy with it. If we sign Garnacho, I won't be happy with it at all. I really won't. Gonna end the stream there. As I said, still recovering, still not 100% well. So we're gonna have some more streams in the next couple of days as we build up to the new season. There's a lot of transfer talk happening at Chelsea. We need to see some of these outgoings. We need to see what's happening with Garnacho. Xavi Simons has still not been. It's gone a bit quiet over there. It's gone a bit quiet. So we're going to talk about all that this week as well. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like this video, leave some thoughts in the comments as well. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll be back soon.